Welcome to Mathos Bridge. We train and learn. We shall continue our C++ programming lab session. Let's get started. In today's demo, our learning goal would be understanding scope of the variable within C++ program. Thanks for joining. Welcome to demo. Today we will see how variable scope can be managed in C++ programming. We know C++ programming is a block structured programming. For constructive program, we use indentation and then scope. Scope is being managed by blocks. Blocks means enclosed by a flower brackets. Till this point of time, everything remains same between the C and C++. The one important point that we need to understand is the variable name can be reused as many times as long as the context of the block is different. Let me rephrase. Same variable name can be reused in different blocks for the different meaning. You agree? Let me look at the example which I shown you in the screen. I have two blocks within my main program, and then the variable num1 holding 10 in first block and then holding 40 in second block. So I should ideally get block specific value in console if I am going to compile in print. Let me compile and then run it. Excellent. So I could see in block 1 my variable is holding value 10, which is what I initialized. In block 2 I reinitialized with 40. To be honestly, these two variables are limited to their block scope, so should be treated as separately. Let me share my example 2. Here I have two blocks, inner block and outer block. In inner block I am assigning value 40 to variable num1. In outer block I have value 10 assigned to my variable num1. If I can compile, I should not get compilation error. The display should be inner block statement first, then the outer block. That is how the code was written, isn't it? Let me compile and run it. Let's look at now. Num1 value in inner block is 40. That is what you are expected. Num1 value in outer block is 10. So the scope is easily distinguished between the inner block and outer block. The same variable name can be used in different blocks for the different context. There is no conflict in C++ programming. All right. Look at case number 3 to understand the variable scope. What I am trying to do here is I was trying to access outer block variable from the inner block. What I will do, I will copy this statement, reprint it, and then let's say I'm using scope resolution operator to it. Right now I would compile and run. What you can get it here, scope resolution operator num3 has not been declared. This is expected. The variable names that we use here are the different context for the different blocks, and hence you can't share the same variable name. So the another way, when you use a scope resolution operator, what this program thinks, the program is trying to refer global variables rather than the local variables. Let me correct this example. what I will do, I will redefine this variable as a global outside of the main, and the assigning value, let's say 150. Now let me compile and run it. So I'm able to compile. I could see the result. If you see line number 13, what we are trying to print is a global variable, right? Using a scope resolution operator. The value which we assign to the global variable as 150, and hence I'm getting. So statement in block 1, I have variable which is holding 40. So what I'm getting in the console is first print statement shows that the num1 has 40. In the line number 2 on console, num3 is holding 150, which is a global variable, and num3 is the outer block which is holding value 10. This is the one differentiator between the local variables and global variables when you are using the same variable name. Let's look at case 4, wherein we have a global variable assigned value 999, which we are trying to access from inner block as well as outer block using a scope resolution operator. Let me compile and print. You should get what you expected to see. Here you go. So from the inner block, I was printing num1 from the local scope, num1 from global scope. So I would get 40 and 999 in the display, which I am getting. Let's look at statement in line number 17 and 18, where we are referring outer block and global scope. So this is where I am getting value 10 from the outer block, value 999 from global scope. This is the another example to understand the variable scope in the context of global, local. Within the local, we can differentiate inner block and outer block. All right. Let's look at case number 5 to understand the variable scope. I have inner block, I have the outer block. I was trying to print variable from inner block and then variable from global scope, which I am doing for both inner block and outer block. Let me compile this code. Good. I could see output. Let me infer the results. In the inner block, I have two statements, one referring a local variable, the other statement is referring global variable. So what I am getting in console is inner block value has a 10, global scope variable has a 999, which is right, which is what I am expecting. Let me see outer block statements. In outer block, the num1 is holding 10, so I am getting 10 and the console. Nice. And the global variable still remains same, which is 999. So what is the differentiator that you understand from here? Only thing is, for the global variable, you are not using a scope resolution operator in this context. You know why? When we use a different name to the global variable compared to local variables, then you don't need to use scope resolution operator. Straight away, you can refer the name to get that value used in the system, right? So likewise, now we have 5 different cases that we learn to understand the variable scope in C++. Good luck.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, click on the bell icon and please leave the comment. Happy learning. Thank you. Stay tuned to the upcoming sessions.